Hey guys, and welcome to another Escape Wheel watch review. Today we're looking at the Addies Dive 1970 abalone dive watch, aka the Addies Dive Willard, and I'm convinced that this thing is the same exact watch as the Steel Dive SD 1970. I had that watch on the channel just a little bit ago. I'll leave the link up here in the corner. And what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling, it's exactly the same as this watch. So personally, I would save a couple bucks and just get the Addies Dive. You can pick this up for $87 on the Addies Dive store. I will leave a affiliate link down below. And I believe the Steel Dive one is like $93, $94. So yeah, you're saving under $10, but you know, why not if you can, right? And I'm, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the same exact watch. So you can get this in black or blue. If you go with the Steel Dive one, you can get a green one. They sell it on rubber straps. They sell it on NATO straps. They sell it on bracelets. I actually did buy the bracelet version here. I just haven't even used the bracelet because I'm just not a fan of it, but we will talk about that later on. And yeah, for $86, I mean, it's hard to beat. This thing is excellent, in my opinion. Probably the best. If you're gonna buy one watch from AliExpress, buy this one. That's my theory on this. It's such a good watch, and it's so affordable that it's kind of silly not to buy one. So I mean, it's kind of a spec monster for your 86 bucks. You get a 316L stainless steel case. You get a ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, Seiko NH35. I believe the Steel Dive one actually offers a PT5000 now for like it's pretty cheap, like $130, I think. So if you're interested in that, they've got that option. 120 click bezel, screw down crown, screw down case back, and an okay bracelet. So for 86 bucks, I mean that's incredible. And and also it's got good lume. So what's not to like about this thing, right? But I say we jump right into it. Let's get into the review. So first things first, the dimensions. Like I mentioned earlier, this thing is, I mean, it's got to be the same exact case. So just under 44 millimeters across. You get 20 millimeter lug width, 13.5 millimeters thick, and the overall case length of just under 47. So I'm pretty sure those dimensions are spot on to what the Steel Dive is. And like I mentioned, it looks and feels exactly the same as the Steel Dive. So, and that's a good thing. So these cushion cases, they always kind of scared me a little bit. That 44 millimeters, it was a little off-putting. I usually don't wear anything over like 41, maybe 42. So that 44 was kind of a little scary, but once I got it on the wrist, I found that it's super comfortable. It sits pretty flat, but it's super short. It's 47 millimeters lug to lug, so it kind of sits like a pill on the wrist. I'm gonna go outside right now and throw it on the wrist for you. And here it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. You can see, I mean, the 46 millimeter lug to lug is just excellent. It's a big wide case, but it's not very tall, so it fits the wrist really good. Yeah, I mean, it's great. And the thing I like about these cases is you can see the undercut on them there. They're not a straight-sided case, so they kind of sit under there, and so they just kind of conform to the wrist whenever you're bending it and flexing it. So yeah, it looks really, really good. Let's get it in some sunlight for you. And here you can see direct sunlight there. AR coating works really good. It's not overly blue, so that's nice to see. Really happy with this thing. Super legible. Lots of sparkle off the bezel. But yeah, it looks great. I love this watch. I'm going to throw it on a couple straps and we'll get back to the review. Here we are on a nice ribbed NATO strap. I just love this. This is usually what I wear it on. Looks really good. Still sits pretty low. Very comfortable. And yeah, this is a great like summer setup here. Yeah, here it is on a kind of an olive Marine National style strap. Again, super comfortable. One of my favorite setups. Yeah, absolutely love it. This is from Cheapest NATO Straps. I would highly suggest not getting this one. But yeah, just get one off of AliExpress. So yeah, that's that one. Looks really, really good. Let's go back inside and get back to the review. All right, and if you guys did want to see it on the bracelet here, I suggest just go and check out that steel dive review. I'll leave the link down below as so you can go check that out. The case finishing on this thing, really nicely done. It's a fairly coarse brushing on this thing, circular brushing on the top of the case, but nicely done. Not really any complaints there. The transitions to the polished surfaces on the sides, again, nicely done. I mean, this is pretty crazy for the price, right? And the polishing, I think, is done really, really good. I've got no problems with the polishing. I mean, look at that right there. That's pretty nice polishing for an $80 watch. I mean, that's kind of insane. But yeah, really nicely done. Very happy with it. And the thing I like about these cases, you can see that the case doesn't go straight down. It kind of undercuts there, and that makes it just super comfortable on the wrist. I think I mentioned that during the wrist shot. But yeah, really, really nicely done on the case finishing. The screw down crown here, also really nicely done. It looks great. Case back on this, you have a vertical brushing on the actual case back here, which is kind of unusual. Usually they do a circular brushing, but yeah, and then you got this little cutout here for your fingers when you're trying to unscrew that crown. A little polished area there, nicely done. The case back, simple screw down case back, again, really nicely done. It does catch a little bit on this, the cotton gloves, but on the skin, it doesn't bother me at all. But really nicely done, kind of the goggles with the harpoons, looking really, really cool. And then it's Addies Dive, all stainless steel, automatic movement, NH35, divers, 200 meter, because this is a 200 meter dive watch. Yeah, really happy with that. The bezel on this thing, you got a nice coin edge bezel, really nicely finished again. It's all polished, really nicely done. Lots and lots of grip. The action on this thing is pretty close to perfect, and as you can see here, it lines up perfect. So you got a ceramic bezel, really nicely done again, all engraved and then filled with BGW9 Lume. We'll hit the Lume shot here in a little bit, but the bezel action on this thing is really good, very smooth. It's 120 click, unidirectional. There's no back play. I mean, it's rock solid. There's no play in it in any direction. Very nice and satisfying clicks. There's no like high spots or low spots or anything. It's very even resistance all the way through. And again, like no back play. And there's a little bit of, you can wiggle it back, but it just kind of bounces right back. So, and then like I mentioned, everything lines up just spot on. So I've got absolutely no complaints with the bezel on this, which is not something you usually say about a watch at $86, right? So very happy with that. The crystal on this, it's a flat piece of sapphire crystal. It does have some blue AR there that you can see. It doesn't really bother me on this watch. I don't know if it's just because it's black or what, but it actually does a really good job of cutting down reflections. And yeah, it looks really good. And there is a nice big chamfer there. Looks really, really good. And I'm just going to test this out for you guys since I do have this new toy. You can see it is a sapphire crystal. Looking really good. Very happy with the crystal on this thing. Let's talk about the dial now. So the dial on this thing, it's a flat black dial. Getting nice and close for you guys. You can see the applied indices at all the hour markers. You kind of got bigger ones at the 6 and 9 o'clock. You got this double at the 12 o'clock. And then you got a nicely framed date window at 3 o'clock. Looking really good. The date is centered in there nicely. You've got the Addies Dive logo at the 12 o'clock position. Again, done really nicely. The printing on the dial is really crisp. Down at the 6 o'clock, you got the automatic water 200 meter resist with that 200 meter in red, kind of accented by the red stoplight on that second hand there. Yeah, again, really nicely done. The hands on it are pretty simple. They're nothing fancy, but again, there's nothing offensive about them. Nicely done. I've got nothing but good things to say about this watch. It's kind of crazy. The minute track is printed on the dial. It's not printed on the chapter ring, so that kind of brings everything down, makes it look a little bit smaller. And I think they did a really good job on it. You can see the C3 Lume. It's kind of got that yellowish, creamyish color to it. So I guess that's one negative. It doesn't really bother me in real life, but I know that might bother some people. I kind of wish they would go with BGW9 just so it would match a little bit better or maybe C1, because I think C1 is a little bit more white. But yeah, I think overall everything looks good. The hand size is pretty good. I've got no complaints with it. The chapter ring on this thing, I don't know if it's showing up or not, but it's just a matte black chapter ring. There's nothing on it. And yeah, I thought it would kind of look funny, but in real life, it doesn't bother me one bit. Really happy with everything as far as alignment goes on the dial. There's no, quality control issues, no specks of dust or anything inside it. I mean, it's, again, it's $85. It's just kind of crazy how good this watch is. And speaking of good, I'm going to pop up a Lume shot right now. You can see the Steel Dive in the middle against the San Martin sub on the left, and then the Bezel GMT on the right hand side. And you can see that the Addies Dive holds its own. The BGW9 on the bezel and the C3 Lume on the dial and hands hold on strong, last all night long. And yeah, it's right up there with the San Martin. And that's kind of something that surprised me, because the Steel Dive, I think I just wasn't happy with the outcome of the Steel Dive for some reason. And I heard that they kind of downgraded the Lume so they could drop the price a little bit, and maybe that's why. But with this Addies Dive, I'm actually really impressed with the Lume. I wish I had the Steel Dive next to it so I could compare them, but definitely more happy with the Lume on the Addies Dive than I was on that Steel Dive that I reviewed. So I just wanted to put that out there. So let's talk about the movement in this thing. So the Addies Dive comes with one movement. It's the Seiko NH35, operated by this, again, signed screw-down crown at the 4 o'clock position, tucked in nicely into these crown gauge here. Lots and lots of threading, very grippy crown. Yeah, there's plenty of grip on that crown, nice and easy to grab, and with that cutout on the bottom, makes it really easy to grab the crown and adjust it. So first position, hand winds it. Second position changes the date. I'm not going to change it because this is set. And the third position hacks that second hand. It's the Seiko NH35, 40 hours power reserve. It hacks, hand winds. It does everything you need it to do, and nothing more. And it's been super accurate and reliable for me for a whole bunch of watches. So I'm always happy to see the NH35 in a watch, especially at this price point. So let's talk about the bracelet. So like I mentioned, you can get it on rubber and NATOs and all that stuff, but I did buy it on the bracelet here, and you can see it is a solid end link bracelet. You can see right there, nice and solid. It is a female end link, so the links hang straight down nicely. The integration with the case, I think, is fine. You do have a little bit of sharp edges here on the bottom of the case. It's not really greatly finished. So I think if you like the bracelet, it's worth buying, because it's pretty much the same price, if not the exact same price. So yeah, I would say just get it on the bracelet just because, and then you can always throw a rubber strap on it later if you want to. But overall, the bracelet it's fine. It's brushed on the top here, as you can see, polished on the sides. You've got the push pins for adjusting. It's not the split pin design. It's actual push pins, pin and collar, which I'm not a huge fan of. But overall, I think the finishing on the bracelet is fine. It's solid links. It's pretty comfortable, at least it was on the Steel Dive. Again, I'm pretty sure this is the same exact bracelet as the Steel Dive. So if you want to see a full review of that and how it kind of fits against the case, again, check out that Steel Dive review. But yeah, overall, it's fine. You got a press clasp here, a little bit jangly. You got 3 micro adjusts. Everything works as it should. And these press clasps are nice and low profile and comfortable, but you can always swap this out if you want to. So overall, I am pretty happy with the bracelet. I did mention it is 20 millimeters. It does taper a little bit, so there's 20 millimeters, and then it tapers down to 18 at the clasp. Oop, there you go, 18 at the clasp. So a little bit of a taper there. Yeah, I just don't like the look of it on the Willards. I personally prefer it on NATOs or rubber straps. So that's usually how I wear it. But I just wanted to mention that with you guys again. If you want to see this watch on the steel bracelet, go check out the Addies Dive review, or the Steel Dive review. So let's talk about any quality control issues I had. Again, this thing came in absolutely perfect. I don't know how they do it on this watch. But yeah, I mean, the alignment of the bezel is perfect. All the indices are aligned perfectly. It's just a great specimen, and this is like the second one I've had, so they both came out perfect. So I've heard that the quality control on these pieces is really, really good. So buy with confidence with this one. So there you have it. That's the Addies Dive Willard. Again, it's just a killer value of a watch. If you are interested in purchasing this now, I will leave an affiliate link down below. I really appreciate you guys using those links. Getting a few more watches in for the channel because of them. So thank you guys so much for using my affiliate links. If you want to see more pictures of this thing, this one's going to be staying in my collection for a while. Actually planning on modding it maybe. I don't know. I like it so much that I don't know if I want to anymore. But I kind of want to mod it. So this will be in the collection for a while. So go check out my Instagram profile. I'll be posting pictures of it there. If you guys enjoyed the video, found it useful, or found it helpful in any way, just leave me a thumbs up. That helps. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Getting pretty close to 2,000 subs, so that's kind of awesome. And yeah, if you guys want to leave a question or comment down below, I will do my absolute best to get back to you guys. Other than that, I think we are all set. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.